Good morning. I've already finished my coffee this morning. So I guess Karma. It's coffee with Karma sans coffee because I already drank it. See? All gone. This is Karma Spence of the Author Switch and founder of Author Diagnostics, Author Nearing, and Book Marketing Club. And today I have this one question for you. How are you going to publish your book? Are you going to choose traditional publishing, which is getting harder and harder because there's fewer and fewer publishers, or are you going to do self-publishing? And how do you decide? It all boils down to one key factor that only you can decide upon, and that is control. How much control do you want over the destiny of your book? Now, if you go with self-publishing, you have to do all the work, but you also have all the control. That means you get to decide what's on your cover. You get to decide what's in between the covers. You get to decide how it's launched, how it's marketed, where it shows up, where it doesn't show up. You make all the decisions. And this is really good. This is a really good option for entrepreneurs who want to have the agility to publish when and where they want. But not all authors want that. If you don't mind ceding some of your control, giving it up, then a traditional publisher will give you all the tools to make sure that your book shines. They provide the editing, they provide the cover design, they do all that. Now, one fallacy is that a lot of people think that when they go with the traditional publisher, the traditional publisher will market their book. Maybe. And if they do, it probably won't be that much. You, as the author, are really always going to have the responsibility to market your book. But it's all the stuff that gets you to the point where you start marketing your book that the traditional publisher helps you with because they hire professional on-staff editors, designers, etc., so that you get a packaged book. Now you can mimic that on your own. You can hire independent editors, and I highly recommend that you do. You can also have professionally designed covers. There's companies that do nothing but that. Um, so you can still make it look like a traditionally published book, even though it's self-published. And there's actually a third option, and this is hybrid publishing. There are lots of hybrid publishers out there where they help you with the editing and the design, but you own the copyright. You get all the royalties. You just pay them a fee up front. They do all the work to make sure your book's properly packaged, and then it's yours. Traditional publisher, on the other hand, they own the copyright. You get royalties, but, and here's another thing that a lot of people get confused with, is the advance. They think, oh, I get this advance and the book starts selling, I start getting royalties. Nope, that's not how it, an advance is short for an advance on your royalties. So if they give you, we'll just pick a number, $1 million. Let's say they give you $1 million advance. They won't. But just let's say they do. Your book has to sell enough copies to earn $1 million in royalties before you start getting any royalties at all. So the smaller your advance, the sooner you'll get royalties. How important is that? If the intent of your book is to get clients, go for the option that helps you get more clients. So if going with if you can get into one of the big three, I think there's still three, that can add a lot of prestige to your book. But if it's more important for you to have copies on hand and not pay an arm and a leg for them, then self-publishing is better. So for example, I've done kind of all of the above, sort of. I haven't been with the big three. That's maybe in the future. I don't know. We'll see. But fully published book, I can usually get copies of my book for like $3, which is very affordable if you're going to be giving them away to attract clients. I did one book with they were a boutique publisher. They weren't hybrid. They own the copyright to the title. They have released the book to me because they decided that the series they were creating wasn't working for them. So they released the content to me, but I cannot use that title because they own the title. And a book that would have cost me like $2, $3 to get if I was self-publishing cost me as much as $10. Well, $10 is, if you want to give it away, yikes. So it all depends on how you want to market your book, how fast you want it. If you go with a traditional publisher, it's going to take the boutique publishers. They can be fairly quick turnaround because a lot of them use print on demand services to actually publish the book. But the big publishers, the big ones, the big three, from the time you sign on to the time your book is available is often a year or more. And that date can be bumped because as it gets closer to the date, they look at what else is being marketed at the same time. Will that affect your marketing? If it does, they'll bump it so that it goes at a better time. But they've got this knowledge. So, it choosing self-publishing versus traditional publishing is all about how much control you want over your book and your book's destiny and what the end goal is. So, for example, I went with the publisher because I wanted at least one book to have third party endorsement. I wanted at least one book that said it was great, not because I said it was great, like that somebody else said, yes, Karma, you are a good writer. I will publish your book. And so purely that was an ego thing, although it was also a marketing thing because I can now say that I have been published by a publisher, that my work is of quality, that somebody else took a gamble on publishing my words. So it all depends on what you're trying to do. Now, if you've already made your decision, I would love to hear how you came up with your decision. Drop it in the comments below. And of course, if you're struggling with this decision and just would like to have a little bit of advice that's tailored to you and your situation, go ahead and schedule a curious conversation with Karma. All you have to do is go to authorneering.com/schedule. I'll drop a link in the notes below. I hope you found this episode of Coffee with Karma helpful. And tomorrow's topic, I've got these all planned out. Tomorrow's topic will be navigating reviews, the good, the bad, and the somewhere in between. See you tomorrow. Ciao.